Sales isn't for everyone. I mean, you have to have a bit of a personality where you could accept rejection.
AI is like SEO now because the way you have set your SEO, like how you write the sentences, AI will use them. So it all works together. And
For me, it's all about people and your relationship with people and how you communicate with people.
I would say upskill yourself, definitely. Like always upskill yourself.
Small team, we want to make sure they're the right people. So we always try and hire for character first and talent second. We can always teach someone.
You're listening to Beyond Growth with Reyan Fernando.
Dom, Ren, welcome to Beyond Growth. Great to have you both here. For the listeners out there, Dom and Ren working together at Microkeeper here, right here in Geelong. So really cool to have a couple of business leaders come in to discuss things about Microkeeper and a bit about sales. But I'll let the intros be done by you guys. So what's whoever wants to go first? A little bit of an introduction as to how long you've been working at together and how long you've been working at Microkeeper.
Yeah, cool. I can go first.
Sure.
Thanks for having us.
That's all right.
My name's Ren. I sort of head our sales and partnerships at Microkeeper. I've been with the business for about 3 and a bit years now. Really enjoyed my time with Microkeeper. My background is sort of outside of tech, but it's been a really challenging space and a really great space to sort of come into, and really good to have a tech business in Geelong, something quite unique. I'll leave sort of Dom to introduce herself.
Thank you. My name is Domenica. I'm from Ecuador. I've been working in Microkeeper for the last 2.5 years. I've been in Australia in the last 3 years. And yes, I've been working on tech on the last 5 years. So previously in Ecuador, I was working at a tech company. So coming to Microkeeper wasn't that big of a jump on the industry, but definitely culture-wise and language. So it's been a really fun journey, and I'm really happy on where I'm right now.
Awesome. And we'll dig into that, the origin story shortly, especially that change of country. I know I've done that myself. It's very challenging no matter how old you are, I think. Now, look, I guess just staying on the Microkeeper things, what problems Microkeeper are trying to solve so people kind of understand the context of what we're talking about today?
Yeah, so I guess Microkeeper, we're a software business from the get-go. It started in 2010 by 2 Geelong boys, John and Joel, who met at uni. Both had sort of engineering background. Sort of a bit of a gap between systems in the workforce that didn't really integrate together, payroll, HR systems and rostering and timesheeting. So they've built that product from scratch and collected a team on the way as well. So it's a really homegrown sort of software. And it's a typical tech company. It started off, in a bedroom, and now it's going to a really great facility and a really great office in Newtown. But essentially what we do at Microkeeper is we're an all-in-one employment management platform. We heavily focus on payroll. Payroll is sort of our bread and butter. Everything that we do complements our payroll process, but we've added sort of modules and features to do your full end-to-end, whether it's HR, helping onboard staff to your organisation, being able to sort of schedule your staff through rostering, using time and attendance tools to clock in and out, record timesheets, and then that all filters into our payroll system, really powerful sort of payroll engine, and then you can report that information to the ATO. So we're real sort of end-to-end from an employment management perspective, starting from onboarding all the way to retirement or termination of an employee. So full end-to-end, full end-to-end employment management.
Awesome. And I guess what would you, for those sort of people sitting out there going, okay, yep, cool, that makes sense. What would be the competitor to your product out there, as in sense of who in the market, so they can have a comparison and go like, okay, cool, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. So what we've been trying to communicate lately is that we are a true all-in-one. We know this is something a lot of competitors say too, so we've tried to shift the message to saying we are unified. Being a unified software means that we've built it all together. So it's not like you're stitching together different systems and then trying to make it all flow smoothly.
Yeah.
We are like a standalone product. So that's like a real benefit to our users because it's faster. Everything synchronizes easier. So like the whole process is even more accurate. And also we always try to communicate that our price is fair. So like we don't try to have like add-ons and hidden costs to make the cost per user per month higher every time. So it's like that, like we give you a product that works with the fairest price.
Yeah. And I guess from our landscape's it's changed dramatically over the last few years. I'd say in the last 5 years, where a lot of systems were quite separated. You know, you would have a different rostering system, you'd have a different payroll system, and you'd have a different HR system, where now a lot of people are consolidating. And that's what we've seen within the market as well. Like our biggest competitor that we see is a like for like is Employment Hero. So a lot of people would be familiar with that product. They're a really great HR system, but they've acquired KeyPay, which is a payroll product, and sort of embedded everything together. So it feels like an all-in-one system, but really it's a sort of merge of different systems. It's the same thing with Deputy. Deputy is a rostering system, and they've just added a new payroll system to their platform as well. But you know, we compete against the Zeros of the world that have a pretty basic payroll engine. We're a lot more powerful than them. But there's a lot of different types of competitors out there. Really, I'd say the ones that are true, very similar to us, would be like a Tanda, Found You. They're probably really close to what we do because they actually deliver something that's an all-in-one, which is what we would do. Where other competitors would have, you know, integrations between systems to try and claim an all-in-one system.
Mm-hmm. And I guess in your experience, why do businesses switch? What I know, you sort of have the unified sense of the applications, no add-ons per se, but is that the fundamental reason they like to switch, or what's the pitch when you guys go into that sales?
A lot of it is to do with growth and just you've just outgrown your current system. What you used to do when you had 20 staff now doesn't work when you have 50 staff. So you know, a lot of them come from, hey, we just do a manual roster, you know, we just put on Excel, and that works for a lot of people. But then once you've doubled your workforce, you find out quite quickly that it no longer works for you. So a lot of companies just come on board because they are looking for something that's a little bit more integrated and a little bit more unified, and consolidating their systems together. And then potentially maybe their current solution isn't matching what they need, you know, from a compliancy perspective. You know, their payroll engine isn't that powerful, and they have to do a lot of manual amendments in their payroll. So they're doing a lot of things manually. That's what we found that is sort of what comes to us is when people want to, you know, they've gone through from that journey where what their old systems were great at one point, but now they need to sort of upgrade to something that's a little bit more future-proof as well. So that's mainly the reason why they come across as they want to unify a lot of their systems together.
Yeah, and it's like it's a specific stage also under like company life cycle. Like we work better for those who are going from like manual processes to an automation. So it's easier to go from timesheets to Microkeeper than probably from Deputy to Microkeeper. You know, it's like it's for those who are using outdated processes and moving into something easier, and also for those who like are using software that have too many features for them. So it's like going to something that works better, is more efficient. Like over-featured software might not work for a small company. So it's like, why am I paying so much for something that I don't even use? So our software is very customizable. So you can, like, from a small business to like an enterprise, it will work. And it's like a very affordable price.
It's kind of like, we don't really look at it as in, you know, how big the business is or, you know, what industry they're from or anything like that. It's more, where are they in their journey? Because, you know, some businesses literally use paper timesheets or a Bundy clock with 200 staff, and that's work for them. Whereas another business that has got 20 staff has used the same system and now no longer works for them. So it's not really about the size or what industry. It's about where they are in their journey, in their business. And where they want to move to, and you know, what they want to do in terms of introducing technology to make sure they future-proof themselves. It's like anything. We're just software. We're a tool to help your business. It's not, you know, we're not going to solve everything. It's like anything you use. You try and get the best tool for your type of work, and we see Microkeeper is a really good, affordable tool for a lot of businesses.
Awesome. And I suppose like it's I forgot to ask at the front end, but what does each of you do as a role at Microkeeper?
Yeah. So I head our sales and partnerships. So a lot of new inbound sales and new businesses come through, and with partnerships as well. A lot of our external accountants or bookkeepers that utilize our product, and then also partnerships from a sponsoring perspective, and just any third party partners within the business.
Awesome. Tom?
I do marketing. So I do every day-to-day digital marketing tasks. I run a lot of SEO, digital ads, maintain the website, and also work very closely with sales. So whenever we have an expo, an event, or the sponsorships, working together to make sure that our sales and marketing efforts deliver what we want, because our team is small, so we work very close together with all the departments.
Oh, okay, awesome. And I suppose, Dom, while we're with you, so you sort of mentioned it at the front end, moving from Ecuador to Australia, starting from scratch, and obviously that transition's quite hard, no matter how old you are, really. But what was the reason to move, and what was that transition like for yourself?
Yeah, so I did an exchange semester in uni in the US, and since then I always knew that I wanted to live abroad. My life in Ecuador was pretty good, but anyway, your opportunities are more limited, so I always wanted to go outside of my country. So then I met my husband in 2019, and he was coming to Australia. So when we met, he already had his visa, everything figured out. He met me, so he had to, he decided to wait a bit, and then COVID hit. So that gave us 2 years to think our future. Mm-hmm. And we both applied for the work and holiday visa. So we arrived on 2022. So I had to come here. We went to Cairns first to do our 88 days of regional work to extend our visa an extra year. And once we did that, we both knew that the way to stay here is through your profession. So I started looking for jobs, and I found a job in LinkedIn for the Microkeeper. I contacted Reyan. I had to do an assessment, and then I got the job. So we came down here. We did an East Coast road trip.
Nice.
And it was literally starting from scratch, because we were living at my husband's aunt's house in Cairns.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't own anything, so all our life was packed in one car. So we came here, and I was very grateful that I got the opportunity to work in my profession here, because with our visa back then, it was temporary anyway, but they gave me the opportunity, and it's been a really fun journey since then. Microkeeper has been an awesome support on our Australian journey.
And what made you choose Microkeeper?
It was the exact job position I wanted. So back home, my last job was in a tech company. I was working as a content manager, and I could work closely with the people in charge of analytics. And I really liked that world. I couldn't really do much in that company. I learned a lot, definitely. And I knew that I wanted to explore the digital space, because everyone was saying the digital space is the future. And the job offer was a digital marketing specialist. I had already worked in tech, so I had a good reference on how the industry works. And it was Victoria. We wanted to live in Victoria too. So it was the perfect.
Ticked all the boxes.
Yeah, the perfect option.
No, that's awesome. So how many years now, Microkeeper? So 2 years roughly?
2 years and a half.
Yeah, okay. Awesome. Now, and Reyan, mate, you sort of 13 years of the Geelong Cats. That's a
big stint.
Good stint, yes. And same sort of question. What drew you to Microkeeper? Because that's you're going from a professional sports sort of industry to this technology and software development side of things. But what drew you to Microkeeper?
Yeah, big change from my industry background. I mean, I guess from the start, I started at the Cats when, fresh out of sort of high school as a casual, just working match days. My twin brother actually worked there as a trainee for his first year there, and the Cats won the premiership. So he got me on board because they were quite busy. And I studied engineering commerce throughout, I guess, my early 20s, which I didn't end up completing because I was sort of, back then in my early 20s, I was sort of a bit more casual, just worked casually and traveled and just hung out with friends and didn't really have a goal in terms of my career path. I knew at the time, I think, that engineering wasn't really for me. I enjoyed the commerce part, but I was good at the engineering part. I just never really enjoyed it. So then I got the opportunity with the Cats to sort of come up full time there. I got promoted to like a store manager role. Did that for a couple of years, and then got promoted to the merchandise manager role, which was great. It was sort of in my mid-20s or late 20s, and I was quite young in terms of my professional sort of development at that stage. A lot of my peers were a lot older than I was, but that opportunity was really great for me because I learned a lot. I did a lot of things a little bit different to what the norm was, and the club really gave me that opportunity to advance the program. I think the merchandise program was really great while I was there, and did a lot of new stuff, especially with our partnership with Cotton On and all these things. And, we got to a point where I'd been there for so long and everything that I did was with the Cats. And I really wanted to step out of that and do something a bit different, or just at least be outside of Geelong, because it was sort of something that, I was comfortable with, and I could have been there for another 20 years if I really wanted to. So I ended up quitting end of 2019. And had nothing sort of to go on. I decided I want to take some time. I had a lot of long service leave, and I had some ambitions to travel and things like that. But 2020 hit, and COVID hit.
2020.
Yeah, so I actually had a really great opportunity where I did a bit of a career break, and I
awesome.
was fortunate enough to be in a position where I was like, you know what, I'm just going to let this ride out, just see how it goes. I was financially okay. I was living with my brothers in a shared house and just enjoyed 2020. And then sort of got back into the workforce as I needed to do.
Sorry, it was one of the only people.
Exactly. Yeah,
enjoying 2020.
Yeah,
But
I actually
go on, mate.
I was a very rare position where I actually did enjoy my
very
time
lucky, mate. Well
in
done.
2020. So and then I sort of got back into the workforce, worked at T2 for a bit, and then worked at Western United as merchandise manager. So I did that for about 9 months. Won the premiership actually while I was there. It was a really it was back to sports and merchandise and things like that, but it was a really cool ride there while I was there. It was a very young team and young club. They're unfortunate at the moment.
Yeah,
they don't
not
have
the
that
best news from there.
No.
So, yeah.
But it was a really fun time. Really great people there as well. So did that for a bit, and then Dylan, who works at Microkeeper, was actually my brother's partner's brother, recommended me a role at Microkeeper in sales and partnerships. And I wasn't really looking for anything, but I thought, let's have a conversation with the team. I'd love to come back to Geelong. I really didn't enjoy the travel up to Melbourne too much, so came back to Geelong, had a chat with John and Joel, and could really see the vision that they had in terms of where they wanted the company to be, what kind of culture they're trying to bring, and I thought, you know what, I'll take a punt. They took a punt on me, and I took a punt on them, and I think it's been a really, really great sort of transition into this space. I mean, I've got sales experience and a bit of marketing experience as well, but it's all the same sort of philosophy. I've just transitioned into tech sales, and all the principles remain the same in sales. So it's a really unique company, a really different industry to be part of. That sort of fintech industry is it's a lot different to the merchandise and sporting industry.
And is that I mean, I was going to ask that, obviously going to be B2B sales, software sales especially. I guess at the end of the day, you still, like you were doing at the Cats, and it's all about, that relationship building, isn't it? It's trying to get that connection, and if any good sales person would say, building that first connection is probably the most important part.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, sales is all about your relationship with
Yeah.
people, understanding people, understanding their pain points and how you can help manage those pain points with them. And it's all about people. The principles are all the same, whether you're selling a T-shirt or you're selling, software. You're essentially just trying to facilitate a solution to their problem. And our industry is quite unique in the sense that people just don't fall onto our business. You're looking for our product.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not a T-shirt or a hat that you're just, you're there and you want to purchase because you need it or you want it. It is a bit of a need product. So when you are looking for it, there's a lot more in the decision-making process. There's a lot more boxes to tick. There's a lot more people that need to be consulted with. So not all sales process remain the same. Some are quite quick. They know exactly what they want. And if we're the right product for them, then great. And other times, it can take, 2 years to go through and convince someone that, hey, that we're the right solution. They might go no for now and go somewhere else and try something and then come back to you. I've had that scenario so many times. So it's never the same. The formula is never the same. It's always just understanding, those people and then eventually, the product will have to sell itself and our solution should work for them. And that's really, the best way to sell it is like, hey, this is what we do and this is what we think works best. And eventually people do get to that point where they go, you know what, that's actually, you make some good points there and they want that change too. So there's that appetite to change as well. That's the hardest part in selling, I think, is that people say they want to change, but actually getting them to change is another thing.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. And look, it's similar in sort of what I do from an EOS sense. Is I've got a client starting, for example, this month or tomorrow actually, and probably been speaking to him now for about 2 years.
Yep.
So it's just one of those things. And it's not so much of a change thing, but it's more of a implementing thing, but similar sort of thing, right? You're going to put something new in or pull something out and change the way you're running your business. So I totally get that. But the touch points along the way and the connections along the way are so important because, you kind of just still need to keep the conversation going. And sometimes that can be very draining in the sales role, especially when I guess you keep getting a lot of no's, but it's sort of it's tough work.
Sales isn't for everyone. I mean, you have to have a bit of a personality where you could accept rejection. Like it's part of the role and
absolutely
part of the nature of the business. So you could literally be prospecting someone for 2 years and putting a lot of effort, and they'll say no, and then you could have someone that comes in. You might have a couple of conversations with them and they say yes. So it's all sort of part of it. It's more you learn from everything that you do. Those conversations that you've had for 2 years with someone that's not accepted you or rejected you, it's not that it was not wasted. None of that is ever wasted. You learn from all that and then you get to understand. So then your next prospecting becomes a little bit more refined, a little bit better. You can ask the right questions and answer it the right ways as well. So it's all about experience. Sales for me is just it's always changing. You're always learning. And it just takes time and experience to get through to learn about sales. And it is a typical person. Like it's not for everyone. I know a lot of people look at it and might think, oh, that's easy to do, or I could do that. Everyone, they seem like they're always happy, but it's like just the nature of the beast. You have to always be positive, always be optimistic. You can't be pessimistic. You got to always think the positive of everything. So it can be a bit draining, but that's just part of our role.
No, absolutely. And I literally had that 2 things happen to me. One was 2 years and then starting tomorrow. One was 1 coffee this month and they're starting the end of the month.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's like, but you'll take both, right? You're like, it's fine. Yeah. I'm excited to work with both of them, but at the same time, it's amazing.
And you got to have both. To be honest, I think
so too. Yeah,
worth sort of, you can't have one or the other. One
or just the one.
If you can have if you have ones that are always really easy, then I think you don't really learn much from that. Or the ones that are always too long, you do learn a lot, but you sort of need the fine balance.
Yeah. Especially financially.
Yeah.
Kind of too many 2 year streams. But no, that was my... Now, back to you, Don, with sort of that marketing, especially when you were doing that marketing the IT services in Ecuador. How did that translate, and what was it different when you came and you were sort of you sort of this payroll sort of HR sort of software solution? Was there much difference in what you're doing, or is it pretty much just very transferable stuff?
It's definitely transferable stuff. A lot of things that I learned that I wasn't doing back home, I could apply here.
All right.
I guess
That's
the
cool.
biggest change first was payroll works in a different way here. Like you have all these awards. This type of software is sold as a solution. Back home, it's like you will have your accountants, your financial department. They process payroll, but it's not such a big thing as it is here. It's more manual, like it's time sheet. Like it is the same process, but here it's like you offer a full solution from onboarding to payroll. So understanding this idea was a bit difficult at first, and then the whole industry, like how do I communicate this? Understanding what's the audience. And then I didn't know a lot of SEO back then. I understood the concept. I knew about like I have to track events, I have to track conversions using Google Analytics, Search Console, like all these things I knew they existed. I had never really used them, but it was good because there was a lot of opportunity of improvement. So I started applying all these things in Microkeeper. Like they had done a great job until that point, but there was a lot of other things to apply and do. So all these concepts that I knew, I was able to learn more by doing them myself.
Yeah.
And then definitely like language, it was like I could talk to people normally. Like I had a very good level of English, but then when you come to the professional world, there's all these technical concepts and words that made it sometimes hard for me to communicate to my bosses what I wanted to tell them. I guess also like on conversations in the boardroom, it's like everyone is saying what they think, and probably at the beginning for me it was hard to like have enough courage to say what I wanted to say. Like sometimes I would like not say anything, and then once everything was like calm, I would go to my bosses and be like, this is what I think. So I guess those were the biggest challenges, because I guess like professionally I did have a solid background. I was able to like refine it a lot, but I feel like it's more like the culture, the cultural aspects that were the hardest from moving abroad.
Yeah, right. And that's cool to hear. And I suppose, it's always that challenge, isn't it? It's just trying to get in and understand. I mean, I came to Australia when I was 10, so it was a little bit different, a little bit less professional.
Yeah.
But it was still difficult to have to go through that process. And for me, it was, like focusing so much on how I speak. And that was, and that's just takes that process. I mean, obviously when you're younger, you don't think about it as much, but like constantly think about, okay, I've got to pronounce things in a certain way. I've got to, and put a little slightly different twang on things, and doing that and basically changing schools and changing from primary school to high school. It's a lot of fun. But it's definitely left me with a really strange accent, that's for sure. Definitely not Sri Lankan anymore, but somewhere between America and because a lot of my practicing was like watching American shows and and then you sort of like you bring that into your accent. So, but anyway, that's little sidebar there. Now, obviously, working together now for a couple of years with the two of you, and that's sales and marketing dynamic, and trying to work. I'd love to find out. So, from a day-to-day or even like a week-to-week point of view, like how do you guys collaborate from a from a marketing sense, from a strategy sense? How does that come together? And I suppose how hard is it to work with Reyan is what I'm really asking.
I mean, I think like something very good is like we get along very well.
Oh, that's
so like
awesome.
From the start, Reyan was pretty much my first point of contact. So like the interviews and everything, I was talking to him. So from the start, it was like he was the person I knew sort of from the company. And it made it really easy to like connect. As our team is very small, it's like sales and marketing are kind of like under the same umbrella. It's like we are always working together. If like we want to have a new campaign, I will check with him, like if he agrees, if that's like a good idea. And then like he might need like some, I don't know, like some docs or some assets to send it to the client. So like then we work together like all the time. We sit next to each other. So it's like, I just have to turn around and be like, hey, what do you
Quite
think
literally
about
sales
this?
and marketing in the
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, and in
On
general, like
spot.
the whole strategy is always built by talking to the person next to you.
Yeah.
Our space in the office is very open, so even like customer support is like right there. So everyone has opinions, and it's good because it's like sometimes you might be thinking of doing something one way, but then someone was listening to you, so they jump in and they're like, maybe we should do it this way. So it's like there's a lot of ideas flowing. Of course, at the end, it's like sales and marketing. We'll have a meeting and then we'll discuss it, have like our brainstorming ideas. Recently, we had a workshop for the first time. It was like very insightful, and we got some pretty good ideas from there. So it's like we're pretty much the same
Yeah, I think
department.
we're the same. I mean, it's like anything in any business. Marketing and sales need to be collaborative and need to work together, because essentially, you know, Dom and her team, they're the filter for the sales. Sales will sell to anyone. Like whoever's in front of them, they'll try and sell to. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of who.
Yeah, I'm signing up just
Yeah.
straight after this.
Yeah, whoever they are, if they're in front of them, their role is to try and sell to them. So, what we require from a marketing perspective is that they're a filter. They filter in good prospects for us, ones that we can convert, and the right businesses for us. So that's where I see that sort of connection with marketing and sales, is that they bring us leads, and we need to work with them to make sure that, you know, they're delivering us quality leads too, because it's easier to sell to someone that is a right fit than trying to force someone that's not the right fit. So that's sort of how we've always engaged, is like we work collaboratively together and make sure that we're both in, you know, thinking the same thing, because there are a lot of opinions and there are a lot of things that we can do, and we're in a really great space that we can be quite creative and we could do a lot of different things, but we just need to really narrow things down and focus on the right things. So, I think we work pretty well together. But
awesome, you guys passed that test.
Yep.
This is going to be it was good. And look, I've sort of experienced the space. I've experienced I've seen you guys working together and seen you at events and things like that. So you do, I think if you spend that much time together, you must like being around each other. So that's a good tick. And I must be, I think I find, you know, sometimes working with the right people is so not sometimes, but it is always the most valuable part. No matter what you're doing, it's just having the right person beside you, and really makes the days more fun, more interesting, and more challenging, and all at the same time. And look, I guess just going back to the marketing side of things for yourself, and you sort of talked about SEO before and things like that, and digital marketing. And I don't know, I feel like I had one of my guests here who used to work at Census, so Yellow Pages back in the day. And, you know, back in the day in Geelong, you know, when I was running my IT business, you'd have Yellow Pages, you'd have a okay website, and maybe the Geelong info pages, for anyone could remember those back in the day, which I still love that thing because they had a map at the back of it. And that was it, right? Like you might spend $12,000-$15,000 a year, and that was your marketing budget. But seems like now, with digital marketing, Meta, Google, if you want to jump on TikTok, if you want to jump, I think I'm seeing Reddit advertising coming up as well now. There's so much out there. How do you decide where to put that valuable marketing dollars? Because that's, to me, I think that's one of the things a lot of small businesses and growing businesses always struggle with, is like, okay, do we just keep feeding Google or do we feed Meta?
So when I got to Microkeeper, our budget for Google Ads was very big. And like at that moment, it made sense because our website wasn't optimized. So the way people find payroll software is like mostly search, because it's like they need it, so they have to do the work on finding out what's the best software. So like search is your primary channel. And then ideally, your SEO rankings are great, so you don't have to spend that much on ads because people will organically get to you. So at the start, like our budget for ads compared to our biggest competitors, probably it was nothing. But for us, it was pretty big. So then it was like a year and a half of redesigning the website. There were a lot of tools we were not using, like the Search Console, for example. Like that's a free tool that will tell you which queries people are using to find you, clicks, impressions, like very powerful. So setting all that up has gotten us to the point where right now, like my budget for ads is like probably a quarter of what it was when I first arrived. So in the span of 2 years, we've reduced it 75% of our budget in ads because organically we're getting that much traffic. We've also found out that the organic traffic is the right traffic because it's people who are actually looking for the solution.
Yeah.
So it's like they will stay on the page. We are using like Hotjar, for example, so I can see on the heat map where are they clicking, how long they're scrolling. So therefore, like I can change the layout of the landings to make it shorter sometimes, putting some sections like the reviews or your budgets for like your budgets for like Trustpilot, Capterra, like all these software that have like the reviews. Where do you put them? And it's been working really well. And now like with AI, it's like...
Just give me 30 seconds. If you're based in Geelong and you're looking to connect, grow, and be a part of a supportive business community, you need to check out the Geelong Chamber of Commerce. When I started my first business, the Chamber had a great impact on my growth. And now with my new business, it continues to play a big part in helping me grow. I believe in it so much that I'm now on the board. So if you're running a business in Geelong, I can't recommend joining enough. Find out more by heading to geelongchamber.com.au. Now back to the show.
AI is like SEO now because the way you have set your SEO, like how you write the sentences, AI will use them. So it all works together. And I would say it's been working pretty well. Our leads are better quality now. When you have a lot of Google ads, for example, we started getting like a bunch of spam. Like on the weekend, you would have like 10 conversions, which would be like awesome. But they were all fake. Like they would book fake meetings.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All the way to the booking, not just, right.
And that's like a lot of waste on your budget.
Yeah.
So, digital is our main channel, but we've also been adding more traditional marketing on the sense of like networking, going to events, because it complements it all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think to be in a market where that's a really good lesson for companies that are, think about their product or their service or what they're offering, that they're offering something that's people will look for when they need it rather than, it's not like, go buy this at Macca's or go buy this thing on special, because people go, oh yeah, that's an opportunity. Whereas, this is kind of like if they're looking for it, then having your website optimized. And what was the tool you mentioned before that allows you to see the heat map? Because that's pretty cool.
Hotjar. So there's a bunch of these heat map tools.
Yeah.
We use Hotjar because we just like need the free version of it. Like it's powerful enough for us.
Yeah.
But like it also helps us to define our funnels because it's like I cannot just rely on SEO. It's like if they land on the website, then I want them to see ads. So like they might not go back to the website. They might see it and be like, okay, cool, I close my tab. But then it's like, how do I make sure that they go from awareness to consideration to finally conversion? It's like doing meta ads because those are very cheap and they are very like, you might see them all the time. So it's low budget, but it's like good results.
Yeah.
And then like we might have probably like eventually, I don't know, like a billboard. So it's like making sure like all your points, like from above the line to below the line, they work together for you to bring in that lead.
And how do you measure? What's your measurement? As I suppose digitally you can market, you can go, yep, no worries, that's working. You two are doing amazing work with the Geelong Chamber of Commerce as well. Love seeing what you're doing and looking forward to that after 5 in Feb, I believe. Yes. So that's going to be a fun one. And look, I guess, it's one of those things that, ROI gets thrown around quite a bit. Probably when you're trying to sell as well, obviously like what's the return, but how do you measure? Because I think that seems to be for me, it's not the voodoo piece, but it's the bit in marketing where you're like, okay, we've got a billboard, we've got a website, we've got Google ads, we've got meta ads. And then how do you go like, okay, it's working or it's not working, and how could we make it better? Especially when it's those things that don't have that digital footprint or connection.
So we have we divide it into like stages. I have my KPIs which are like the conversion for signups and consults booked. And then like Ren will have his KPIs, which are going to be like the implementations, like how much did they charge someone for the implementation, what's the subscription fees. So like on the first stage, like above the line is really hard to measure. But for example, the way we've measured our Geelong campaign, because by the start of the year, we decided to have our Geelong campaign. So like sponsoring the cats, having like our logo on like the players' room, having the suite. That's really hard to measure unless you get a client from the cats.
Yeah.
But then it's like seeing how our traffic to the website grew from January. You can see a trend going up. So it's like, it's definitely working because people might see it on the, like they're watching the game on TV and then they see our logo when like the game ends. So it's like we try to have ads also like during the game. So like they can relate their logo to our brand because a lot of people might not know our logo, or like they might see like a billboard eventually and be like, okay, like you see it once, but then if you see it again on an ad, you remember it.
I mean, that's how you do it, right?
So then it's like the way I try to measure is like I have all these efforts, then I think of it as a funnel. So like making sure that if you saw it somewhere that I might not be able to measure, also adding measurable things, and then how many conversions I get is going to be the results for it. You have to assume a lot of things too.
Yes,
and how you attribute these leads to a specific channel or source. But in general, like if you see the big view of it, you can really see the trends on your conversions.
And that's some valuable tips as well in regards to, if you are going to spend some money in marketing, you have ways and means of tracking it. And your website, those hits to the website are kind of one of the best places to do it, isn't it?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you want the people to sign up to the software. So that's like the easiest metric.
Yeah.
Like how many people signed up, how many people called, how many people, for example, sometimes I get conversions on ads, but I cannot really know what did they search for. So I go to Search Console and see on that day which queries gave me clicks. So then you start like joining all these things.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love data. So I'll probably, the rest of the show probably could be this. So I'll keep it, we'll save that for another time. But no, look, that's awesome. I love it. I love that you've got those answers and the sort of the way you're looking at things.
Yeah.
It is really highly valuable because, too many businesses tend to fall in the trap of going, we're marketing and, throwing dollars and dollars away and not necessarily getting a conversion.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And look, I've got to say the Geelong Cats connection. Obviously, Reyan, I feel like you might have a few things to do with this connection, but that suite there is amazing. Got to spend a bit of her time there myself, but then also just the branding around the place as well. So done a really good job. But I think, from a strategy, from the Geelong strategy point of view, that seems to be like the Geelong Cats and the Geelong Chamber of Commerce seem to be really up there in what you guys are doing. So talk us through the thought process there?
Yeah, I guess for us, we're a national product. We've got businesses all around Australia, different type of industries and sizes and things like that. But at the end of last year, we sort of reflected on, what we wanted to do for 2025. And part of it was, why don't we do something in our backyard? We want to be a proud Geelong business. We're quite a unique business in Geelong in terms of technology and software. There's not really a lot of software companies that come from Geelong. So we thought, let's get Geelong right first, and we want to try and build our Geelong presence a little bit more. And part of that was initially looking at certain things, and we had a pretty small budget, and we thought quite small at the beginning. But then, to the credit of John and Joel, they pushed it a little bit, and we became a little bit more ambitious, and we had our connection with the Cats, so we were able to do a suite there and do a partnership there to do the sign up, the warm up signage, and we're looking to extend that partnership a little bit more as well. So the biggest brand in Geelong is the Geelong Footy Club, so why not have that? And obviously with my background as well, so able to sort of get some connections there. We've also done a partnership with the Geelong United, the basketball team, so they currently utilise our product, and we do some LED signage with them, and looking to try and expand that partnership as well. That's gone really well for us. And then with the Chamber of Commerce, it's just made sense for us. It's something that we were members in the past, but probably something that we didn't really engage. It's one of those things that you get what for the effort that you put into it. So that was a really big challenge for Dom and I. We wanted to go to all the events. We want to sort of be present as much as we can and talk to as many people. And I think we've sort of gotten a lot out of it, and we're really excited about our After Five event in Feb, something that's going to be a little bit different. There's a lot of ideas and a lot of crazy ideas coming up. So we're really looking forward to that event to showcase, who we are as people, as a business. Because, our product is one of these things where, if you pay someone, you essentially need our product as well. So we can connect to all types of different businesses and any type of industry. So we're really heavily focused on that. And if you told me 12 months ago before we had our Geelong campaign that we would have connected with all these businesses and we would have signed up all these Geelong businesses and, we've had some branding, the cats and all that, I would have told you, no way, that's too much. I thought maybe we'll have something quite small for Geelong, but we're really proud of what we've done in the last 12 months with our Geelong strategy, and we're expanding that out to more collections around Australia. But, we've always said we're a proud Geelong team, and everyone in our business is from Geelong. Either they've come from overseas and live in Geelong now, or everyone just lives in Geelong, and we're proud of that, to be leading in that space. Quite a unique space, and it's one of these things that our goal is ultimately that every Geelong business is utilising our product in some capacity, because we believe that we can really help this town with our software.
No, it's awesome. And look, I love the fact that, you sort of have this ambition to build a tech hub in Geelong. And I've been here for 25 years, and look, I just love this place. And you're sort of seeing it grow and grow so much, especially like the last 5 years. I feel like Geelong's completely different from that. But I feel like that happens every 5 years. Every 5 years you look back and go like, wow. So it's so exciting. And I think, sort of touching back on the After Five, I'm really excited about that. But then also just loving the style and design that goes into everything you guys do. So ultimately, so if you look at the office, if anyone gets a chance to, even walk past your office, it looks like so good from the outside, let alone like you go inside. It's just created so well. Yeah. And then you've got the suite as well. Like that suite looks nothing like any of the other suites. Right. Yep. So I do EOS sessions in some of the other suites, and they're pretty vanilla, just a couple of tables and things like that. And whereas you guys, sort of play a huge part in that. And I guess where's that vision come from? Because I think there's one thing to be a growing business and doing well and getting that side of things going, but there's another thing to inject. Because look, sorry, let me just take a side. We're talking about payroll, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. That's not
so this is, I'm prefacing this in the fact that it's not the most interesting topic in the world, but ultimately what you're seeing is, I don't know, you just bring in this style and a vibe about it all, which is just amazing to see. But who's driving that? Because I find you don't see that from a budgetary point of view. You don't see that a lot. A lot of people just don't have the budget to do that either.
I mean, it comes from top down. John especially sort of helps with our sales and sort of business development as well. He's one of our directors. It drives from him. It's essentially down to us, and we try and be a little bit different. Our budget isn't as big as some of our bigger competitors, but how do we stretch our dollar? Whether it's through marketing, whether it's if we do a fit out that's really polished, at what kind of impact does that lead? So. Yeah, we have a great suite at the Cats, but just to your point, you've looked at it and you've compared it to the rest, and you've gone, this is way bigger. So now that little bit of investment has made a bit of a massive impact in terms of retaining our brand, brand awareness and things like that. So, and we try and do everything a little bit different. Like even if you go to our expos, a lot of the booths are all very similar. They've all got the same layout. They've all use the same pull-up banners and everything like that, and we do something a little bit different in there too. So we try and just be a little bit different when it comes to doing anything that we do. We just we want to stretch our dollar as further as we can, and then we just want to make that impact. And sometimes you do have to invest in it. You can't always just be too tight and not invest the money into these type of things. So if we're going to do something, then we want to do it right, and that comes from everything that we do, whether it's the Cats or the After Five event. If we want to commit to something, we want to commit to it in the right way.
I love it, and I guess that level of creativity and that level of that style that comes through how does that help? I feel like that helps a lot with marketing because, again, not the most interesting topic in the world.
Yeah.
Notice we didn't talk about anything about payroll yet,
Yeah.
and we probably won't.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, how does that help you in the marketing sense? Because I feel like you've had that tech marketing background, and even tech's like, it's not the greatest thing in the world to market, but surely that's given you some great, I guess, breadth in what you can do, really, can't you?
Yeah, definitely. And also I think our company is very people oriented. So that goes from how they treat us, what's like our culture in the office, and that translates into the way we shape the software, thinking on like, okay, what's gonna benefit the user more. So in marketing, it's like I can always communicate everything not on a technical way, but like on a more like personal perspective. So like how we solve your pain points, how we can give you like the best possible experience. And then like the suite, it's like how do we make sure that our clients go there and feel valued and feel that we're giving them a space like for them. So I think that philosophy that John and Joel have like created for the company is translated in everything we do. So we don't sell the payroll software. We sell like a service that's gonna make your operations better.
Yeah, it's that wow factor. That's always sort of what we've wanted to achieve. It's kind of like we know our product has a wow factor as well. Yeah, we're a little bit different in terms of where we are in the market. You know, we've got a lot of legacy competitors out there, like the ADPs of the world, Chris 21s, and all those sort of old school software. And then when they come to us, they go, "Oh, how's that? Like, wow, that's really fast. Wow, you can do all that. Wow, that's a really cheap price, or that's a really affordable price." So we wanted to have the same experience when we do something like the suite or something in the expo.
Yeah,
we go,
cool.
"Wow, that's different to what everyone else is doing," because that's what we want our software to be as well. That we have that wow factor, that it is different and we're outside of the norm. We're not your traditional payroll software. You know, if I try and talk to someone about payroll, they're probably going to fall asleep within 5 minutes because it's not a sexy product.
I'm not going to put payroll in the subject of this topic at all. But but I think I love that. I love, I guess that the wow factor as well. It really makes a massive difference. And I know that, you know, being able to have that big budget and that creative mindset makes it really, really, really fun too in the marketing space. So that's really good to see. And I guess, you know, coming back to both of you individually, you know, you've gone through quite a few changes, you know, for yourself, coming to Australia, going from Cairns to Victoria. Like, there's some big changes, and yourself from Geelong Cats. And I know people, you know, you work for somewhere for 13 years, and it is a big, you know, big change. As much as you enjoy 2020 more than anyone else in the world, I guess what are the challenges you're facing at the moment? You know, like what's sort of making you how are you pushing, and what do you need to push through over the next couple of years? And, you know, where do you sort of see that growth for yourselves in each of your spaces? Because I think being ahead of marketing and all the changes there, especially the AI that's coming in. But like you said, sales is all relationship. But you know, it's how do you go national, right? Like how do you go even deeper in that sense?
Yeah, I guess for us, it's you know, we're in the growth space at the moment, and we've been doing that for the last 5 years. Before I was in the business. So, and what we have, and the challenge that we have is that we want to stay as a lean team. A small lean team, and you can do that with tech. You know, you don't have to have, you know, 100, 200 staff businesses, because really in tech, if you get to that position, you can't really turn the ship that quickly. So what we have in an advantage is that, you know, being agile, being able to deliver things really fast, and to change our product if we need to. So our biggest challenge right now, I think, is people, getting the right people in our business. You know, we could have 10 more people in our business, but we want to get the right people.
Absolutely.
And we're happy to wait for those people, or we're happy to find them in whichever way we can. And you don't have to have, you know, the tech background or all these things. You look at our collection of people. We all really gel well together, and all our backgrounds are really different. But what we have is a collective sense of we want to be the best and we want to lead within our space, and we want to push the boundaries in that sense. And we want to be a little bit different. So everyone has the same mentality within our business, and when we are bringing people to our small team, we want to make sure they're the right people.
Yeah.
So we always try and hire for character first and talent second. We can always teach someone, payroll and our tech and things like that. But we want to have the right person that, is hardworking, that will challenge the norm, that will, energetic, that has, optimistic about the future and everything like that. So they're the sort of people that we want and the culture that we want to sort of drive within the business. That's our biggest challenge, is that we are growing quite significantly, and we can go, hey, we need more people on this side of the business, and we need more people here, and there's a lot of things that we will need and we'll want to grow in, but we want to grow in the right way as well.
Yeah.
And make sure the people that are coming on board are the right people and going in our journey, because it's very difficult to find, and the talent pool in Geelong is obviously a little bit smaller than Melbourne, but there's the right people. There's people in Geelong
Absolutely
that can facilitate that. So that's a challenge. Recruitment and people are always the biggest challenge, I think, in a business. But I think we've got the right people so far, and we're excited to get some more people in there.
No, that's awesome. And look, it's so true. I mean, I sort of work with a whole bunch of businesses in the COS space, but getting that right person in the right seat, because the right seat, you kind of know what you need. You always do. Like, you're like, cool, it'd be nice to have two more here, but that right person is so hard. And I find, if you hire too fast, and the amount of pain that causes, and the amount of luggage it creates when you're sitting there, like, having to think about this person, always hire slow. That's the way to do it. And it's such a privileged place to be too, to go like, we need it, and we could get them in, but ultimately we don't want to rush it. Like, that's the best mindset when you go into this space, because well, sort of went through good 10 years and having to sort of seeing all the wrong people sitting in there, and then trying to work through that. And it's draining. I just remember how many times I'd sit there and get to work. I'd park the car and I'd be like, just like going like, big deep breaths, going, all right, let's do this. And then it's so fulfilling when you actually get to the right place, but you rather not have to fix, you rather prevent and actually go like, let's get the right people in. So
yeah, for sure. And that's always been what we're looking for. We just look at, it doesn't really matter what your background is or what skill sets you have or anything like that. If we can see something in you that's like, okay, you see things a little bit different, or you can drive this part of our business a little bit differently, then we're open to that conversation as well.
Awesome.
So it's a challenging space. It really is. And then you got to fit in culturally. I mean, culture is just some of the behaviors of your people. So we're just trying to get the right people in the door, and it's the same thing with all our partners as well. We connect with the Geelong Cats, and we're trying to get more bookkeepers and accountants. And when we look to partner up with everyone, we want to make sure that they have the same values, the same sort of philosophies as we do. So we're just not taking anyone or just partnering up with anyone. We want to partner up with the right people as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic. And I think good luck with that one, because but like you said, there's talent is there in Geelong, and just and I think when the other beauty of what you're doing from a marketing sense and brand sense, and from just what you're doing from a just giving that creative spur, is you're going to attract people, right? You end up attracting people going like, oh wow, look what Microkeeper's doing. That's kind of where I can see myself wanting to work, and you start attracting the right people. So you're doing some good stuff in that space as well. So Dom, how about yourself? What's the challenges? What's, I guess, going into the next few years? What do you see on the horizon that you need to like really get a grasp on?
So personally, first would be getting residency.
Huge.
I'm still on the temporary visa. So on the next year, I'll probably be able to get the residency.
Yep.
And once I have that, it's like I have more like security that
absolutely.
I can think on the future. I do see myself working in Microkeeper. I love the digital space, but I also want to start exploring more like traditional marketing as well. I think having joined the chamber, the networking has been like a really good experience, especially because coming from like a different background, the small talk with people can be really hard. It's like I see like Ren meeting someone and they are talking about like, I don't know, 10 years ago, remember the cats, whatever. Like
Ren just drops
they
the
have-
Geelong cats
yeah.
at every
Yeah,
comment.
yeah.
they
You got
have
it.
something in common to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely.
For me, it's like learning like how to do this, like how to like swim in this space that's like so strange to me. But it's been like a great experience. So like I definitely want to keep growing as a professional, as a person, and I think a space like Microkeeper really promotes that. We're a small team and we're growing, so like there's a lot of opportunity for growth for everyone, and it's really nice growing personally and professionally with your company.
Absolutely.
It's like thinking when I first got to Microkeeper, we were still in Wellington, so we were like in the shed, and then 2 years later, like
Sorry,
we're
in the
here.
shed? What do you mean?
It was a shed, like
Yeah.
the office was like in.
Oh,
the-
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So it's like really interesting to like see 2 years back and now, and all the things we've accomplished, especially this year. Like these, 9 months, 10 months have been huge for us, and it's like very satisfying, like as a professional and as a person, like seeing how far I've gotten.
Yeah, that's
And it's
awesome.
like, yeah, like I'm going to be 30 next year. And like it's a good way to start the 30s.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I suppose I've experienced that, especially the Chamber of Commerce and sort of the networking side of things. I remember starting back when I was like 24, 25, or when I started my first business, and it is daunting, and it's a lot better. It's far better after fives than it used to be back in like 2006, 2007 when I first started. And obviously not negative, it's just a different vibe at the moment. But ultimately, yeah, it is challenging, but I love it now. And I guess it, like Ren finds, like, because he's been around for that long in the scene, you can, there's little tiebacks to like, oh, remember this, remember that.
Yeah.
And it eventually that comes through. So it's a matter of time.
Yeah.
But I think it's, the fact that you're like so involved too, that just accelerates it, right? All of a sudden,
definitely.
you're not just going to a after five or a meeting and then you're leaving. You guys are really getting right into it, and that makes a massive difference in how quickly that's going to happen. So excited for that. And I think it's the Chamber's directions has been a good thing to see as well. So I'm really really glad you guys are both part of that. And I suppose if you were speaking to someone that's looking in that space, in the tech space, the marketing space, and wanted to get into that in the Geelong region, what sort of tips and would you give? Obviously, you're looking for the right people, but not necessarily at Microkeeper, but in general from that sales sense and the marketing sense, what for someone that's kicking off, what tips would you have?
I would say upskill yourself, definitely. Like always upskill yourself. I think right now it's really easy to think that marketing is just doing the TikToks and the like 1 million views reels. Like it's important, yes, but that's not what marketing is. Like I found like there's a misconception on what a company needs to do to be successful. I think nowadays social media is important. It is a tool, but it's not the whole picture.
Yeah.
It depends on your business, definitely. Like in our space, yes, we might do we could do some interactive social media content, but that won't necessarily bring us the right leads. Like in our space, we are not B2C, we're B2B, and I cannot be selling to the employee. If the employee loves our app, it's great for retention because like they won't have like any problems and they won't talk to their manager and be like, I cannot see my payslip or something like that. So maybe for retention, it could work having like social media content for them. But then like there's a whole different world, like a whole new, like bigger world on marketing. So I think it's definitely like upskilling yourself. If finding out which direction you want to go, it's always good to try something different. Like I started doing trade marketing at my first job and I really liked it. And now like I'm on digital, and probably in the future, like I would love to explore consumer behavior. So it's like, don't don't think like there's one set path for
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
Like,
That's when you're speaking. That's exactly what I was thinking. Right?
yeah, it's like try different things, and also like me thinking like as going to be 30 soon, don't let your expectations of what you thought you had to accomplish at a
Define
certain
you.
point
Yeah.
define you.
Yeah.
And it's always a good idea to start from scratch because you have like a whole world of opportunities ahead of yourself.
That's it. I love that. That was good. And yeah, it's so true, isn't it? I thought I was going to be a chef when I was finishing high school.
Yeah.
And here I am. But yeah, how about you, Ren? What, from that sales point of view, and especially that, you know, for people it might be when in your position where, you know, maybe in a role for 10 plus years and going, do I just settle? You know, like I think what you've done is very brave, right? And to take that step and go, I'm going to try something different. And yeah, look, it's been a good journey.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Dom's right. I mean, you got to, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
You know, you got to try different things all the time. And that's what I believe your 20s are for, is you need to try different things. And when, you know, I'm in my 30s now and settled down and everything. So, but really all the experiences that's led me in my 20s has led me to where I am now and sort of the type of person I am and type of professional I am as well. But if I was to give sort of an advice or, you know, anyone really that's starting their sales journey, there's a lot of things out there that I see all the time, a lot of content, a lot of things are like, oh, you got to do this and this is a playbook and this is sort of how you prospect and all these things. But for me, it's all about people and your relationship with people and how you communicate with people. You know, there's a lot of tools out there now that with AI that you can send out an email that's completely polished and no spelling errors and everything is correct, and people lose sight of that in the sales process because every email now from every sales representative is perfect.
Yeah.
Whereas the face-to-face selling is more important for me.
It's almost a lost piece, isn't it? Especially the new sort of professionals coming through, like they haven't had that as much growing up. So
correct. Yeah.
I think you have that as a strength, like building that's amazing.
Yeah.
And you've got to practice it.
Yeah.
Right. So like you can't just go like, oh, I'm no good face to face, but like you only get good by practicing.
If you want to be in this profession, then you have to really be upskilling in that where it's where next time you go to order a coffee, have a conversation with the barista.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, just have conversations with people because that's the only way you can learn. You know, we can use AI to polish up my email and send it through, but then as soon as you get the opportunity to then try and sell in front of that person and you're one-on-one with them and you are not as polished as what your email suggests, then people see through that really quickly. So I think that's my advice, is that the AI stuff and the tools and all these things, they're really great to learn from. But the person-to-person conversations and understanding that person and, you know, understanding their challenges, understanding why they're coming to you and understanding, you know, when they say something, what does it actually mean? Does it actually mean what they're saying? Or is there a deep reason why they're saying something? So understanding that all takes time and experience. But I think that's something that I would probably say to a younger sales profession, is that the tools are there to help you, but, you know, practice makes perfect. Just have more conversations with people. You know, when I first started Microkeeper trying to sell the software, I'd be embarrassed to see those recordings now. So between now, but, you know,
here's one I got right here.
Yeah, 3 years now. Like, you know, now I can say the right things, and my timing is a lot better, and all these things. So it just takes time. It just takes experience. So yeah, don't always get disheartened about rejections and things like that, because you always have those opportunities when you don't sell or when you don't convert. Then they're just really good learning opportunities. And sales is just all about numbers. You know, the more people that you have in front of you, the more opportunities you have to try and sell. And if you can convert, if your conversion rate is a lot better, then obviously you don't need as many people to talk to. But it's all about numbers and just being able to communicate to people effectively.
Absolutely, that's great advice, right? I must admit, it's one of those things that it's been brought up a few times in conversation in the podcasts as well, and I sort of speak to a lot of people about this. But yeah, that whole face-to-face connection, and how much of a strength that's going to be, especially the next like 5 to 10 years, because AI has just become way
everyone's
too
sort
prevalent.
of scared of that AI. Or either you embrace it as a tool, or you're scared of it. But it's but you can't be reliant on it. Fully.
No,
You still have to. People buy from people. They don't buy products. They buy from people. So, if your communication through email and digital is great, but the face to face is not amazing, then you'll never sell to anyone.
no, awesome. Now, before I let you guys go, I've got a couple of quick questions. First one is one book or podcast you guys are currently listening to. It could be anything.
I listen to a lot of crime podcasts. So
go shoot, shout it out. What's your favorite?
Case Files is sort of something that I listen to. I only really got into it in the last maybe 6-8 months. And when I walk the dog, I'm just constantly, and it's like a bit spooky at times when you're sort of in the dark watching, listening to. But it's interesting. I find a lot of that stuff I like. I'm listening to a bit of some sales podcast now.
Yeah, cool.
So I do a bit of that as well, but I mainly only listen to it in the morning just to sort of kickstart.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And then there's just little ideas in there that's like, I should think about that today.
Yeah, it's super valuable.
Yeah, I can't really think of the names, but I just subscribe to a bunch of them, and then I'll just every now and then I'll just listen to them because they'll have one liner or something that will sort of engage something in my brain and go, I'll think about that this week, and maybe I'll do something in that space this week.
No, I love it. How about you, Dom?
I don't listen to podcasts really.
What do you?
I'm gonna start I don't do Spotify a lot.
Do you? I mean, even reading. Do you read a book?
I read, yes. I read fiction.
Yep.
Recently, I've been reading a lot of Japanese authors. So currently, I'm reading The Cat Who Saved the Books, and then there's the sequel of it, of The Cat Who Saved the Library. So it's fiction, but it's very self-soothing books where it's definitely fiction, but I like how Japanese write the books in a way that's very different to romance novels from New York Times best-selling authors.
Not that I read any, but I know what you mean.
Yeah. So that's very interesting. A couple of years ago, I wanted to start reading more, so I decided to read one book a month.
Cool.
So it's been going great. This year I was a bit of ahead, so I've been relaxing a bit lately.
You're banking books. I love it.
And then books on marketing. At the start of the year, I was reading an SEO book, which was great, but I found that usually these books that are on marketing, it's a lot of theory that you already know.
Yeah.
Everyone tells you the same, what's the SEO perfect formula, and of course there isn't one, and they will tell you all the concepts. So I found that the best way to learn your things is doing the things. Doing trial and error. And I feel like an SEO book, if it's written today, will be outdated by the time it's printed. Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah. So
you were reading one though, the other one.
Yeah.
It
was huge, but that one was actually pretty good. It was not SEO 101, it was level 5.
Oh, a level 5
Yeah.
SEO. You get a belt. You get a belt with that one.
Yeah, it was good, but no, the best way to keep doing it is just do it yourself, and you learn on the way. Because also, what works for you doesn't work
100%.
for the other business.
That's the trap you can fall into. Is copying it, but you got to But then also having the systems in place to test and trial and check your numbers, right? Yeah. Now, where can people find you? So, I mean, the Microkeeper website. Are you guys on LinkedIn? What's the best people, if they're listening to it and going I'd like to find out a little bit more about from a sales point of view or from a marketing point of view, where's the best place for them to find you?
Definitely our website. We all are also on social, so LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, which now is X. We're not that active on social media. We post there our product updates, our blogs. So the best way would be to go to our website. There we have links to our guides, our FAQs, a lot of resources, and of course the direct links to booking consults with sales. I think if you want to know more about the product, sales is the way to go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on LinkedIn, so Ren Wackett. LinkedIn, you can search on if you'd like. Or my email is just ren@microkeeper.com.au. So I'm happy to connect to anyone, have a conversation about their current systems or just anything, career path and advice and tips and things like that. So always happy to have those conversations with anyone.
No worries. And obviously for your Geelong Chamber of Commerce member, look out for the February after 5. I'm so excited. I get excited for when someone's got put like a bit extra effort into what it's going to be like as
Yeah.
well. Ren and Dom, so good to speak to you today and find out a little bit more about yourselves as well as Microkeeper. It's really nice to see a successful and growing business in Geelong and take the time to actually speak to me, which is really exciting. I do like the fact that we are neighbours. So this was the shortest distance any of my guests had to come in. So thanks for the walking down and having a chat.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.